No one can resist listening to a story well told. Imagine yourself 10,000 years ago. You emerge out of your cave wearing your best Oakley loincloth and your homemade spear and go out to hunt with your fellow hunters. Sometimes you go away for days and come back empty-handed. Some days you get a wild boar or two. You come back into your cave, sit around the fire, and tell stories about your exploits. Someday you might get killed and you don't come back. That's the time the wild boar gets to tell its side of the story. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guest. A story in the hands of a master storyteller can move mountains. I'll illustrate this. I'm going to tell you a story. It's an excerpt from a book. This happened in the 80s in a place called Canton in Mississippi, a predominantly white neighborhood. Getting justice for a black man was impossible. The story I'm going to tell you begins towards the end of a trial. A young lawyer by the name of Jake Brigance is defending a black man. The black man is accused of murdering two white men for raping and killing his daughter. After the long, drawn-out trial, Jake sums up his closing statement with a story. This is what he says. I would like to tell you a story. I would like to tell you to close your eyes and listen to the story. I would like you to listen to me. I'd like you to listen to yourself. Go ahead, please close your eyes. This is a story of a young girl coming home from a grocery store on a sunny afternoon. Suddenly a truck races up. Two men jump out and grab her. They drag her to a nearby field, tie her up, and rip the clothes off her tiny body. Then they jump on her. First one, then the other. Destroying everything innocent and pure about that little person. When they are done, when they have destroyed everything in that tiny womb, when they have murdered whatever children she might have had, they've decided to make her target practice. They throw full beer cans at her. They throw it at her with such force that it breaks her skin right to the bone. Then they urinate on her. Now comes the hanging. They have a rope. They make a noose. Imagine that noose tightening around her neck. Suddenly her body is jerkily lifted up in the air with her feet and legs kicking. But the branch of the tree cannot take the weight. It snaps and she falls back to the ground. They pick her up, throw her in the back of the truck, and drive off to Foggy Creek Bridge. There, they pitch her over the edge. And she falls about 30 feet down to the creek below. Can you see her? A broken, small body, raped, beaten, soaked in urine, soaked in the semen, soaked in blood, left to die. When they are done, they go back. I want you to picture this girl. Now imagine she's white. You may now open your eyes. This was the story Jake told the jury. Jake won his case and the black man was freed. This is what I want to talk about. It's all about the story. Be the story. Step into the character's shoes. Feel their pain. Act it out if you can. Make it your own story. And then you can have a story that moves mountains. Back to you, Pam.